Welcome to Discover La Jolla, where we showcase this coastal community, the jewel of San Diego, boasting boutique businesses and vibrant upscale neighborhoods. I'm your host, Valley, and I'm here with my co-host, Jim McInerney.
Hey there, Valley.
Hi, how are you?
Great, awesome.
Great, awesome, wonderful.
Yep.
What else is wonderful is the multiple beaches that La Jolla has. Can you tell us about them?
Yeah, there's so many and they're so diverse. You know, you've got obviously the beaches and the cliffs down in Bird Rock, and then you move into Wind and Sea, Big Rock, Westbourne, where kind of the high school kids hang out. And then you've also got Sea Lane and Marine Street, which I think is probably the prettiest of all the beaches. The sand's different there for some reason.
Oh, really?
Yep. Then obviously as you move up, you've got hospitals, great surfing spot there. You've got the Cove, children's pool. And then there's really not much because you have the caves and the bluffs there until you get down to the beach club, which is one of the best places in the world right there.
Right.
One of the safest beaches too. Normally you don't get big waves at the beach club. And then you move up to legendary Black's Beach, where it's world-class surfing, sometimes some naked people walking on the beach. Beautiful cliffs right there at Torrey Pines, so you really have a lot to choose from in La Jolla, and they're all very diverse.
My favorite part about Black's Beach is often when I go through there because of the hike, I see dolphins.
You see dolphins a lot at Black's.
Right.
It's very, very common. There's a lot of deep caves right off that area, so it's very common to have the dolphins in with the waves and the surfers. Black's is amazing.
What's the secret beach to go to when the tourists come into San Diego and start exploring the beaches in La Jolla? Where do the locals go to get away from the tourists?
It's pretty hard to technically totally get away from them.
Or are you just trying to keep it from us,
But,
a secret?
well, there are some secrets. I'll give you one secret spot. So there's a little public access off Camino de la Costa, the Street of Dreams, in about the 6300 block there. The surf break out front is called Hogan's, but if you walk down, there's a couple little private inlets where it's like your own private beach, if you can get there if the tides are right. And nobody's there, nobody knows about it, and most of the public would never know that that's an actual access point.
Okay, we'll keep it just for our
don't
La
tell
Jolla
anybody.
natives.
Yeah, don't tell anybody.
Well, I would love to meet your next guest that you brought on our show. Who are they?
Andy White. So
Andy
he
White.
works at the Ascot Shop, which is a family-owned business. His sister, actually, Angela, works with me in my real estate business. And I've been going to the Ascot Shop since I was probably a kid when I got my first blazer.
Oh, wow. All
Yeah,
right.
so Andy's awesome, and I think you're going to really enjoy talking to him.
Staple in the community. Let's meet him.
Okay, let's go get him.
Hi, Andy. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here and Jim bringing him on.
Yep.
I read your bio a little bit and was excited to meet you. So tell us a little bit about your business, what it is you do.
It's the Ascot Shop in La Jolla. It's been there since 1950, so just coming in on year 74. Yeah, my dad's been there 50 years. I've been there 30. I have a sister that works there, has been there 25 years. It's an old family business, and my grandpa was friends with the original owner. He didn't start it, but that's how we got involved, because my grandpa and the owner were friends, so they recruited my dad.
Those are like years and years and years of just finding your craft and expertise. So tell us about the shop. What do you guys do?
So, well, it was an old traditional men's store. I didn't like it at all when I started, which was like 94, 95. And I remember saying, I feel like I'm dressing like Grandpa, who was a customer, and I looked down at my pants, I'm like, I am dressed like Grandpa. I'm wearing the same pants he's wearing, and it wasn't for me at all. And I was part-time in college and part-time working, and I got to go to a trade show with our buyer probably in the late 90s, and my jaw hit the floor. I'm like, we can buy any of this? We're the best clothing store in San Diego. Why don't we have cooler stuff? And I'm approaching like the age of 21 where you want to look kind of nice when you go out or dress up a little more than like work attire. So started going into that zone, and it was a risk. And
how'd that go with your dad? Because he's a little more traditional.
He is.
And was always traditional.
He was very, very supportive, and I'm very grateful for that, because The buyer that I got exposed to this stuff with, he was like very conservative, and we have budgets we need to stay in, and he's like, you can't just go buy anything you want. I'm like, okay. So I came back and I said, Dad, we need to do this. And he goes, okay, why don't I create a separate budget for just you?
Oh, cool.
And so we called it fashion, for lack of a better word. Fashion shirts, fashion jackets. We didn't have jeans yet, and so we called them fashion pants.
Got it.
And he gave me like a little budget to kind of run with, and it was pretty out of the norm for what
I
we
remember
sold.
that change
Yeah.
because when I
With
got
the
into
trim
real
and the
estate, it was like
collars
2001.
Yeah.
And I was
Yes.
coming in and getting suits from you, and we were doing the custom shirts with the monogram on it.
Yeah,
and the
Robert Talbot.
Yeah, Talbot.
Yeah.
Yeah, we spent a lot of money on Talbot,
Wish
didn't
they
we?
were still with us.
Yeah,
These things
they were
happen.
a good
but,
brand.
yeah, so it was great. And I mean, I didn't even know how to display it. I put it on a rack, like it's a sale rack in the front of the store.
Right.
So anyone walking by would be like, oh, they have cool shirts that have trim under the collar. And
Yeah, the
under,
whole vibe of the store has changed dramatically in the
dramatically,
last
yeah.
20 years.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that
It's-
sort of how you got the word out, that you were shifting gears or going in a different direction in part of your fashions?
Not really. It happened. It had to happen organically over time, basically.
Okay.
You can't advertise that kind of thing. It's just like you have to read the clientele. And we're getting younger, cooler guys. When we were young and cool back
Yes,
then,
yes,
in the
back
early
then.
2000s.
I was very cool back
So
then.
we were getting like, and we're so generational. So like, a client of ours, his son's graduation from SC, he's like, yeah, I'm going to take you to the Ascot Shop and get you wardrobe for your first job. And he was initially like, this is where my dad's shops. Like, I don't want to, And then he came in, he's like, oh, wow, this is awesome. I'm on 2 and 3, sometimes 4 generations of families that have shopped at our store. So that helps a lot. And then,
And it's such a prominent location. I
Yeah,
mean, you're right
same-
in the heart of the village.
same four walls.
Building.
Same building, same
you
4
know.
walls, 74 years.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's crazy.
It's so cool. I think my mom took me there to get my first sport coat for Mr. Benjamin.
Oh, sure.
In, like,
He made
8th grade?
He made my first custom surfboard.
Really?
Peter Benjamin, yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
classic.
he was a
Mr.
surfboard
Benjamin's
maker, yeah.
dance school or whatever.
I had
it was.
Rasta colors on the side
Oh, that's neat.
because Bob Marley was very
Now, you
popular.
guys, for a little bit, were offering women's clothing as
yeah,
well.
Yeah, I had a good run, actually.
And is that still going, or is that
It's
kind
not.
of, it's, okay.
Not by choice. I would continue to do it if we had the vendor to do it. J Brand was our main driver for it.
Uh-huh.
And in fact, I think I might even be wearing a pair of J Brands. And a close friend of mine was the West Coast rep, basically. There was 2 guys that sold it across the country. And he's at my house. He stays at my house when he comes down. We're close friends. And we're having wine out on the patio, and he gives me this smirk, and he's like, women's? And I was like, yeah. Like, I know a lot of women that like J Brand. And so we did a women's event with our men's event. We didn't even have inventory, but we brought it in for the event. Called all my buddies and had them bring their wives. If they know J Brand, come down. We're going to have a party Friday. We're going to do the event all day Saturday. And he brought high-end stuff. So we had like leather pants. They were like $1,000. Leather jackets. They were like $1,000 on top of jeans. And I just said to myself, if we did like a couple $1,000s extra in women's on the first day, that would be awesome.
Right.
Because they're normally jeans are like $200.
Right.
And so at the end of the day, I think we sold 7 and we ordered like 13. So we did like
That's
20,
awesome.
Yeah.
20 grand in day 1 of attempting women's, and did a 100 grand in the next 6 months. And right at that turn is when a new CEO came in, and he
Changed things.
didn't like our return policy we had.
I
So
see.
women's stuff changes a lot faster than men's.
Oh, okay.
So we'd get rid of something that wasn't working and get something new. So there was a lot of exchanging going on, and
So
he didn't like that.
Are you gearing up now for spring and summer?
Loaded.
Loaded up for spring and summer.
time.
You're ready.
It looks like just like us.
Okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah,
Good.
colorful and
Good.
cool new stuff. Yeah,
You've
we've
got
landed
some
a lot.
long-time employees like Iggy.
Yeah.
How long has Iggy been around that
Well,
store?
so Iggy's been Iggy is 80, almost 82.
Yeah.
He's been doing it since he was 15.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah. So he's
What
had
a
his own.
character.
He's had his own store. He worked at. He opened Gary's, and so he ping-ponged back and forth
Yeah,
between us and
I
Gary's.
remember.
But he's a legend. And so we have some newer guys now since COVID. When we had to close.
Yep.
Closed, and then had.
John's been back.
John's
right?
back,
Yep.
yep. And he's a lifelong clothier too.
Yep.
But we have a set of brothers. They're the coolest guys, Mike and Alan Alzona. And Mike was a big clothier up in San Francisco. He worked at a really prominent clothing stores, their custom guy, and then he broke off and did his own custom clothing thing on his own. Like he would go to offices and had like, I think he had a little spot that he could have people come to also. But he had a kid and he's from here, and they decided to move back, and it was perfect timing because we were turning that corner from getting out of COVID and things are ramping up. So we got him, and a year later he suggested his brother, and they're both Nordstrom trained.
Good.
So they're very valuable.
And you're always doing like special events and sales, like trunk shows. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Sure. Yeah, at least once a month. Certain vendors, George Roth is a great one. He's out of Los Angeles, real casual sportswear group, polos, t-shirts, but he has some cool sportswear stuff. He is in Los Angeles, so he comes down once a quarter, and he himself is there to have George Roth of George Roth in the store. Cool. Yeah, it's super cool. He only can do it to a couple stores because of his location.
Right.
He can't be that in every store he sells, So we're fortunate. We're one of like 3 that he'll make these appearances at. And people love it. I mean, you get to meet George. I mean, Peter Millar, there's no guy named Peter Millar. That's just the brand.
Right.
But to have, he's got a following, so that's
awesome.
A big one.
It's a testament to the quality of the store.
We'll do clothing ones, with a Hickey Freeman or those kind of brands. And then we'll put together like a casual one where we'll do like jeans and sport shirt and maybe a shoe thing. So we'll have 3 brands there at once.
Got it.
Every customer that comes in gets exposed to, having the professional sales guy there from the brand.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always getting the notices in the mail.
So they're working?
Yeah, they're working, yeah.
Good.
It must be quite a mailing list by now after 50 plus years.
I got to tell you, we've worked on dialing it in to active because of the longevity of the people in the system.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, we pay a lot of money to have the postcards returned so we can remove.
Update it. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I was wondering how you stayed in touch with, it sounds like you have a wide variety of buyers, right? So you have older gentlemen and you even have younger guys coming in looking for different custom, pieces. How do you stay in touch with all different types of genres?
That's a good question. The unique part of what I do is that I'm also on the floor. So a lot of stores like ours have a buyer, which is what I am for our store, but those buyers aren't on the floor selling to the clients. So I just read demands of people. I see how many more people are bringing in young kids, so we are bringing in smaller sizes, like in jeans. My friends are bringing in kids in grade school and high school, and so we're carrying like 28 and 29 inch, waist jeans, which I don't think I was ever that size. But we just to have a broad appeal to.
You're always there, right? And so you're really seeing what's selling. Yeah. How fast it's selling.
And then the other big part is that I'm in the markets. So when I go to New York and I go to Chicago, I sometimes go to Dallas, and then there's a show in LA, and I do that twice a year. So that's like 6 to 8 trips a year that I go into the markets, and I see what the best stores in the country are buying, and I see what brands are evolving and what new product looks like, and like this brand it's my favorite new addition, Maurizio Baldessari. It's Italian, and this with a Cucinelli label or a Zegna label is like $4,000 or $5,000. They're $895. Yeah, it's awesome. It's one of the best luxury Italian products at the price point, and they're not online. They're not in department stores.
Well,
they're
you heard it first right here.
Geared for specialty stores like ours.
That's
awesome. Do you carry items for bigger guys?
Some. So we can get.
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Great question. We'll see how he answers this.
Yeah. A lot of our vendors will have sizes that go up to fit a real man size. We don't inventory them in the store a lot because we don't have a huge call on the daily. So our size scale kind of runs meat and potatoes, more medium, large XL, but then we have people that need smalls or double X's. And that guy George Roth I was mentioning, he carries up to triple X. Okay. And you've got a few of those. My sister got you one, I think.
She did.
Yes.
For
she
Christmas.
Said you love it.
I do love it, and I wear it all the time.
Yeah.
So if somebody sees a piece that they like, but they don't have their size, they can just you can order it for them.
Custom order.
Sometimes, it doesn't not in every not every time, but And I tell people, like, even if you have a thought of something that you wouldn't think that we carry, I said, run it by me because I can find it. You know, I have access to every vendor out
And you
there.
guys do tailoring. You have on-site
tailoring
That's
upstairs.
A nice service.
I can turn things around same day.
Yeah.
Nice.
I ended up with a great client. He worked for Nuvasive. He was out of Alabama. One of his first meetings he flew in for, his luggage was lost. And his meeting was like at 11. And he came into the store right when we opened at 10. He was not dressed. And he was like, I need help.
Yeah.
And I said, no problem. And I got him a sport coat, shirt and tie, pair of slacks, had the tailor turn it around in like an hour. He got to his meeting, and everyone complimented him on his outfit because it was different from what he would normally buy in Alabama too.
Right.
And so he was like, this is my favorite thing in the world. So he comes out every quarter, and he doesn't bring clothes, and he just buys new clothes.
I love
that's
that.
awesome. What a great story.
And that's the benefit of having a tailor in the store.
What are the hours of the Ascot Shop?
10 to 6, Monday through Saturday, 11 to 5 Sunday. We were always closed Sundays, but
And the address?
that's turned at 7750 Girard Avenue, right there in La Jolla, between Silverado and Klein.
That's awesome. What a great location.
Yeah.
Talking about how when a new owner or in this case, a younger son comes into the business and kind of switches things up a little bit, and it can either fail or it can really grow the business and send it into a trajectory. So it looks like you guys followed, your dad was faithful enough to follow.
He let the leash out for sure.
Yeah.
He gave me and he told me one of my favorite things, because I really didn't know what my personal style was yet at that age, like in my when I was 20. But I'm looking at stuff and I kind of knew what I liked. And he goes, son, you're going to make some mistakes and you're going to make some triumphs. You're going to have successes and failures when you do this. And you're going to buy the wrong thing. It's not going to sell. And we'll just mark it down and get it out, and we'll learn from those mistakes. So that gave me the confidence to kind of take that step.
Great.
That is such
Great
good
advice.
Isn't it? Yeah, I thought that was magical.
Bill's
It
a
is.
smart
He
man.
did that with my sports too, because I was pretty competitive in sports. And he's like, Andy, there's always going to be someone better than you, and there's always going to be someone worse than you. And I thought, yeah,
There you go.
I guess I can swallow that one.
Yeah.
And it was kind of the same motto for business.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much
Oh,
for
thanks for
coming
having
in.
me. This is great.
The Ascot Shop is an amazing, foundational, historical part of La Jolla, California.
We're very fortunate.
And we'll be sending my son in there soon. He's graduating college, so he's going to need...
I see them usually every holiday, so
Yeah.
I get you something for Christmas.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. Well, thanks a lot, buddy.
Thanks,
It was
buddy.
awesome.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
I enjoyed meeting you as
My
well.
pleasure, yeah,
so
thank
much
you.
for being on the show.
My pleasure. Thank
Come
you
back
guys for
soon.
having me.
Thank you all for watching Discover La Jolla, where we showcase this coastal community, the jewel of San Diego, boasting boutique businesses and vibrant upscale neighborhoods. We'll see you next time.